can't tell. Sound is getting recorded or not. It's not astronomically loud. Plane is going over. Mechanical sound has stopped. But it was a very high pitched, even though it wasn't exceptionally loud. I was just a bit worried that the animals would be mentally disturbed by it, because they're out there. There's about 10 dogs next door, and they're right, just like I am, they're right next to all this disturbing sound, and animals are super sensitive, just as I've been sensitised to sound over the last 7 years, because if you have excessive loud sound day in and day out, you become what they call sensitised to sound. So you're actually even more disturbed by it, and then they create so much that it's really incredible mental disturbance, because they sensitise you to it by creating always sound going on continuously day in and day out. And that's combined with a patrol system that, was always in your sight or in your vicinity, to where they're always coming in front of you, always behind you on the street. The cars are always pulling in and out in front of you, always got their bright headlights, always leaving their engine running, always parked, patrolling, watching. They're really psychopathic stalkers, and that's how you feel about it, except that you have to kind of try to not see them as actually having a connection to you. And even if you say that they're not human and that they're artificial and just using technology to track and watch and surveil and disturb, that makes it not less, but sometimes even more, because there's no possibility that they're ever going to remotely stop or consider anything. Not that it would matter, because many army operatives are trained and are very impersonal and don't see their targets as human either, in a way, because they have I think an idealistic mentality, or they believe in their side being right, that type of thing. It's always the case in war, whether it be what we call, I just saw it written on a sign the other day, civil war, so that means like where it's, I think, like civilians, just like, which is really what it is, except that it's not out in the open. It's like a hidden civil war, covert hidden civil war. It's secret only to those that are involved, but most people are involved. In the inner west section of the city of Sydney, which is many suburbs and many 100,000 people, almost everyone is involved. In fact, there's so few actually involved that they would either be fully aware and totally suppressed and surrounded, or if not, totally in the dark. But I don't have an answer for that. I'm not sure what the sound No, I can't hear that weird noise anymore. I turn it on and off because it's all connected to your mind. It's transhumanism, so they're connected to your brain, is connected to theirs. It's like mind to computer, so that they know what you're doing and what you're saying and what you're seeing and what you're thinking and what your next move is. And even though you might, most of the time in my case, I'm literally doing nothing of significance at all. In other words, you're just basically going about necessary daily things like getting some supplies, that type of thing. And basically you don't know how to do any different either. But either way, there'd be no point in me saying, well, I won't go out into the matrix patrol system around the area where I live, because I don't want to be patrolled and stalked, which means then they've limited your movements and confined you. But there's no point in that either, because when you're confined in, like where I am, they have these set up stage work programs around you to where they send incredibly loud but also just very disturbing mechanical sounds into the actual place where you where you're living. So you can't win, and they are always one step ahead of you because they know what you're thinking, they know what you're doing, they know I'm got the mobile and recording right now, so they don't have to display their sound program for me to record it, even though it probably doesn't matter greatly to them because it's not relevant to anyone, especially when most people are part of it, and the few that aren't wouldn't be able to do anything about it, and they may or may not think that it's as extreme as what this transhuman human mind control city really is. They don't understand the diabolical consequences of a human being having implants and microchips and technology placed inside them that connects them to the other android beings, but also to the entire artificially intelligent computer, earth, internet, system, which is much more vast and probably a lot more advanced, infinitely more advanced than what human beings are led to believe. Or even if you do have some information about that, you don't think it's in practice. You don't think it's just like we think everything is always in the future, whereas it's really already happened and is now. Most things have been going on for a long time, even though we've heard about them being future possibilities. This is only known when you realise the surveillance and the tracking systems and the intrusive mind-to-computer technology that they're using. And they openly show this to isolated, individual, targeted people, so that it doesn't matter that they know, because they're isolated, they're targeted, they're surrounded, and they're suppressed and limited by these beings and their technology, which is used against them in what they call psychological or spiritual warfare. That just simply means that spiritual warfare is like human warfare, because you don't understand or don't believe that there's not that many humans, and there's a lot more artificial intelligence and a lot more psychopathic types of humans. They're all different species in a way, or different minds in the same types of bodies, or similar bodies. There again, there are some distinctions, but they're minor and usually not discernible at all, especially as you get conditioned to accept different images and different ideas of what you think human beings even should look like. So it becomes not relevant, but the mind is relevant, because that dictates the actions and the type of city and world that you live in. And it depends on what you want now, but it also depends on how far you want it to go in the future. And I think that it's already happened, but it's not fully out in the open. And it seems to me that some and many are part of it, but still in the dark. But I'm not fully sure or convinced that of the awareness, or the full awareness of everyone that actually contributes to this suppressive surveillance, paranoid, controlling type of city system, because it is a program. Many are openly involved in it in a collaborative effort. Some might be participating in it merely by suppressing human beings indirectly and unintentionally, being part of it by creating negative personal relationships with the targeted human individuals, that type of thing. Because Lucifer's matrix, or the God entity and its powers that be that control the world, they are well aware of all these things, because they have the total transhuman watching program, where the human mind, with the microchip and the nanotechnology that they have told me it's called, that just means that it's like implants that they put into your eyes and a part of your body, where they can basically monitor you in every possible way. So that's it. I better stop, because I'm not sure what's going on outside. I know that the sound gets turned up and down according to what I'm doing, but also whether I even record it, because obviously they don't hide their work programs and the reality that they make a lot of noise, but they just justify by saying that it's necessary work, even though it doesn't seem realistic that they accidentally knock down a wall, so then they have to come to make more noise to rebuild it. So they make noise to knock it down and build something else to make more noise. Then they have to rebuild the wall that they accidentally knocked down, right just out here. Just out there. Oh, wait, I'm just out there. Sorry, just out there. Just through the glass there. Just through the painted glass. That's the back of where I am. But at any rate, I don't think there's any sound much. Oh. There's a plane over the roof.